Welcome to Welcome to Jesus Bible Study. We are going to be in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 16. And this is Jesus speaking. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. And I'll repeat that. Let your light shine so before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Before our light can even shine before men, we must first of all make sure that we have a light. All of God's children have the light because of God's truth that is planted deep within us. It is that Holy Spirit that we are gifted in. We are to be a reflection of God's light in this world of darkness. For God shined his light in this world for us that we seen when we was in the dark. But we got to make sure that we do not cower in fear and hide our light. We need to let it shine. A lot of people think that that song was just a little kid's song that they sung in the kids' nursery. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And I know I can't sing, but that's okay. But that holds truth for us as adults. We are supposed to be letting our light shine. In fact, the devil know who you are by the light that God gifted you inside of you to shine. He knows which children belong to him, and he knows which children belongs to God. The devil is of darkness, and God is of light. In the beginning, he separated the darkness from light. He brought light into the world of darkness. That is the very first thing that God did, was to bring light into a world of darkness. So is it as these days that right now this world is a world of darkness. And we are called to be that light in the world of darkness. God gave us light. We are to let it shine. We're not supposed to hide it under a bush. Oh no. We're going to let it shine. It says in the scriptures later on, if you was to give a light on the candle, would you put it underneath your bed? Or would you put it on the candlestick? Now a little bit, it just means you can't just be hiding it. A lot of people out here, a lot of Christians out here, a lot of Christ followers out here are proud to themselves of being a Christian, of being a Christ follower. But to the world, they're not letting their light shine. They think it's okay. They're just keeping it to themselves. And they think that they're doing okay. They got a relationship with God. They read their Bible regularly. They pray regularly. They give thanks regularly. They're really doing in all aspects what they're supposed to be doing. They go to church. They teach their children about it. But then but they don't let nobody else know. They're not sharing the gospel. God calls us to share the gospel. He tells us multiple times to let your light shine, that you are the light of this world. And that's one of my favorite verses. You are the light of this world. Because God was your light in your world of darkness. We're supposed to be a reflection. We cannot be God. We cannot be Jesus. We are not perfect. We are sinners. We are of this flesh. But we're supposed to be a reflection of them. He knows that we cannot be perfect. He knows that we cannot be righteous and holy without having them. It just can't be so. But because of them and because of having them in our life, we can reflect that righteousness. We can reflect that holiness. There's a lot of people believing that that is impossible for them to live a life without sin. Or we're sinners, and it is impossible to not be in sin. That is just not, that is not true. It's very easy to live a life without sin. Are we sinners? Yes. Are we going to stumble? Are we going to fall? Yes. But when we do, because God says in the scriptures that righteous men will fall 7 times, but they would get back up. God knows that we're going to make mistakes. He knows that we're going to stumble. But to have that mindset that we cannot be sin free, so therefore we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, is false doctrine. And that also falls into most people who think that once saved, always saved. Well, I'm saved. I'm saved by grace. And God knows I am a sinner. We're going to sin. So therefore I can continue to live the way that I'm living. And that is so untrue. The Holy Spirit convicts you when you commit sin. It doesn't want you to live in that sin no more. It is very easily to not live in sin. You learn as you go. Are we going to be complete without sin the moment we come straight to Christ? No. God is going to mold us. He's going to take us and he's going to start chipping away the old us. And as he's chipping away, we're going to be becoming the new us that we was meant to be. The us that he was formed us, and the us that he wanted us to be when he formed us in our mother's womb. But he's going to have to chip away. That is why it is up to you to make that choice, though. You've got to learn to walk in your spirit and not of your flesh. Your flesh is of sin, but your spirit is of God. And it is easy to do. It might take some time. But God has you. God knows your heart. Now when he comes and the rapture comes, and if you're living in sin, there's a lot of people seem to believe that because they backslide, or I was saved, and right now and I'll come to at the last minute. There's not going to be no last minute. You cannot live in sin, for the wages of sin is death. Now there is a difference between somebody who stumbled for a moment and is picking themselves back up. God knows his heart and knows that he wasn't purposely living in that sin. But too many people are living in this sin because they think they're saved by grace. They think they can continue in their lifestyle because they are saved by God, and therefore they don't have to do any more for the work. And those are the people that are going to be the biggest deceived, because you cannot live in this world and make it into heaven. You cannot have one foot in this world and one foot in heaven. The weight of this foot that is on earth will pull you down from heaven. You cannot live both lives. You have to make a choice. There's no in-betweens, there's no middle, there's no gray area. You're either in the dark or you're in the light. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot eat cake and have it too. And that's the correct way of saying that, by the way. Because it's impossible to have the cake if you've already eaten it. Not that you can have cake and eat it too. You cannot have cake and eat it. You cannot eat cake and have it. You cannot have it both ways. You have to make a choice. So there's people that is refusing to get out of their sin. There's Christians that love God and everything, but yet they are in a relationship with somebody and they're having sex with them, and they know it's a sin to have sex before marriage, but they think, oh, I am saved now, and God knows that I am a Christian, and my boyfriend is a Christian, therefore it's okay. No, you cannot bend the rules to form into your life. That's the work of the devil. That's what the devil does. That's what his false teachers does. That's what his false prophets does. Is take the word and bend it and twist it to benefit them. You cannot take God's law and twist it and benefit to your own needs so that you can do both things. You have to make a choice. It's either this way or that way. The wrong way or the right way. Good versus evil. Right, wrong. Light, darkness. Either or, there is no in between. There's no bending of the rules. God would know your heart. And those who think that they can sit there and do as they please because they have God's grace